You're making a mistake right now, and it's a mistake I made too. Thinking that God's silence means he's not listening, that the silence means rejection, that you're forgotten, maybe even punished. But I need you to hear me, and I mean really hear me. God is still working, even in the silence. Don't scroll. Don't click away. This is not one of those feel-good, sugar-coated messages that leaves you confused 5 minutes later. This message is a lifeline. It's exactly what you needed, exactly when you needed it. And if you stay with me until the end, I promise you will walk away stronger, more anchored, and more certain that God is not done with you yet. I know what it's like to cry and hear nothing back, to pray with everything inside you and feel like your words just hit the ceiling. I've laid awake asking, God, where are you? Why are you so quiet? And you're probably asking the same thing right now. But listen to me carefully. God's silence is not his absence. In fact, silence is often the very sound of preparation, the sound of purpose being formed beneath the surface. And if you give up now, you may miss the greatest thing God ever wanted to release in your life. You're not here by accident. You didn't click this by chance. I believe God brought you here, yes, you, for a reason. This is not just a video. This is a message from heaven disguised in pixels, a reminder wrapped in words. So here's what I need you to do. Listen closely. Watch until the very end. Let every word pour into your soul like fresh rain after a long drought. Let it awaken something deep inside you. Because God is not done. He's not gone. And the silence you're stuck in, it's not a dead end. It's a divine setup. Let's go deeper. You've been there, sitting alone in your room, eyes swollen from crying, heart racing, fists clenched, asking a question that echoes like thunder in your soul. God, where are you? You pray. You fast. You beg. And still nothing. No voice. No sign. No answer. Just silence. Heavy silence. And that silence can start to feel like rejection. It can feel like punishment. You start to wonder, did I do something wrong? Did God walk away from me? Let me tell you something I wish someone told me earlier. God's silence is not his absence. Just because you can't hear him doesn't mean he's not speaking. Just because you can't feel him doesn't mean he's not near. And just because he's quiet doesn't mean he's left. I know it's hard to believe when you're in it. I've been there. I've cried into my pillow and whispered prayers that felt like they dissolved into thin air. I felt forgotten. But now I understand something I didn't back then. Silence is a strategy. God uses silence to grow your faith, not to crush it. In the silence, he's developing your spiritual muscles. He's training your ears to hear whispers instead of shouts. He's pulling your attention away from distractions and into his presence, where real trust is born. Psalm 4:6-10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." But being still isn't easy when your world is falling apart, when you lose someone you love, when your dreams feel like they are dying, when everything inside you is screaming for direction. But listen, stillness isn't passivity. It's spiritual confidence. It's the bold declaration that even when I don't understand, even when I can't hear him, I trust him. I know he's God, and I know he's good. Some of God's greatest work happens in silence. Think about it. Seeds grow in silence underground. Babies develop in silence within the womb. Jesus himself was silent for 30 years before stepping into public ministry. Silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. it means something sacred is happening beneath the surface. Something is forming. Something is maturing. Something is aligning. Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways." God sees what you can't. He knows what you don't. So while you're panicking in the silence, He's already planning your breakthrough. While you're questioning His timing, He's organizing divine encounters, moving hearts, and shifting circumstances that aren't even visible to you yet. Just because you can't trace His hand doesn't mean you can't trust His heart. I remember a time when I was waiting on an answer about something that was breaking me on the inside. Weeks went by, then months. It felt like I was spiritually suffocating. But looking back now, I can see how God used that silence to strip away everything I was relying on except Him. He broke the idol of control in me. He taught me how to walk by faith, not by feelings. That season made me dangerous to the enemy, because once you've learned to trust God in the silence, you become unshakable. When God is silent, He is still sovereign. He's still working, still moving, still holding the universe together. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't overlooked your pain. He's simply preparing something that your eyes aren't ready to see yet. And if you can just hold on, just wait in the stillness, you'll realize one day that the silence was never a sign of absence. It was a sign of intimacy, a holy pause before a divine breakthrough. So stop measuring God's love by how loud He is. Start measuring it by how close He stays. Because even in the silence, especially in the silence, He's holding you. He's guiding you. And yes, He's still working. But here's the real test: can you still trust Him when you don't understand Him? Because silence is one thing, confusion is another. And what happens next could redefine your entire definition of faith. Let me tell you something hard, but necessary. There will be moments in your life when nothing makes sense. Not your circumstances, not your suffering, not even God. And in those moments, your faith will be tested, not in a gentle, comfortable way, but in a brutal, fire-forged kind of way. You'll be tempted to walk away, to take matters into your own hands, to quit. But that's the exact moment when you have to do the opposite. You have to trust even harder. See, real faith doesn't begin when things go right. Real faith begins when understanding ends. It's easy to trust God when the doors are opening, when the prayers are being answered, when the path is straight. But what about when it's not? What about when the report is bad? When the relationship falls apart? When the bills are piling up and heaven is silent? What then? That's where your faith becomes real. That's when you're forced to answer a question you never thought you'd have to face. Can I trust a God I don't understand? And friend, I'm telling you now, I've been there. I've stood in that storm, soaked in confusion, wondering why God didn't stop something from happening. I have begged Him to explain, to reveal His plan, to show me why. And all I heard back was stillness. But over time, I've come to understand something that changed my walk with God forever. God is not obligated to explain Himself to me. He's not waiting for my approval. He's not here to meet my expectations. He is God, and I am not. And the moment I stopped needing to understand everything was the moment I started to experience peace in the middle of chaos. Proverbs 3:5-6 says it best. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. That verse is not a suggestion. It's a survival guide. Your understanding is limited. It's small. It's shaped by fear, by trauma, by past disappointments. But God's understanding, it's infinite. He sees what you can't. He's working on levels you don't even know exist. And if there's anyone who knew what it meant to trust God in pain, it was Job. This man lost everything. His children, his wealth, his health, everything. And still, in the face of unbearable pain, he declared, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." That's not weak faith. That's warrior faith. That's faith forged in fire. And let's be honest, this kind of trust, this depth of surrender, requires something from you. It requires you to lay down your pride, to let go of your need to control every outcome, to release your timeline, your logic, your plans. Surrender isn't weakness. It's the highest form of trust. It's saying, "God, even if I don't get what I want, even if I never understand why, I still believe you're good. I still believe you're for me. I still choose you." So when life doesn't make sense, don't walk away. Don't let confusion destroy your connection to God. Let it deepen it. Because you don't need all the answers to keep moving forward. You just need to believe that the one who holds your future is worthy of your trust, even in the dark. You trusted him without answers, but now comes the part we all struggle with. The waiting. What if delay isn't a detour, but divine timing? Let me show you why heaven's calendar moves differently than yours. You've probably said it to yourself before. Why is it taking so long? Maybe you've been waiting for a breakthrough, a relationship, a healing, a door to open, and nothing's moving. Days turn into months. Prayers turn into tears. You're stuck in the middle of delay, and it feels like God is dragging his feet. But I need you to hear me clearly. God's delay is not God's denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. It means the timing isn't right yet. You see, you and I live by clocks and calendars. We're addicted to speed. We want everything now. Fast answers, instant results, same-day miracles. But God doesn't operate on your schedule. He isn't bound by your watch. God works in seasons, not seconds. And while you're frustrated by the wait, he's using it to align your future with his purpose. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Not your time, his time. And when God says in its time, he means after the roots are deep, after the character is formed, after the foundation is strong enough to carry the weight of the blessing. Because if he gives it too soon, it could destroy you. I've had doors I begged God to open, and now I thank him he didn't. Because I wasn't ready. I would have mishandled the blessing. I would have sabotaged the opportunity. God's no wasn't rejection. It was protection. His delay was not a punishment. It was a gift. And here's what I've learned. What feels like waiting is often divine alignment. While you're pacing back and forth in your room, God is aligning people, shifting hearts, moving pieces into place that you can't even see. He's setting up the right connections, orchestrating divine appointments, preparing the atmosphere for what's coming. Because God doesn't just bless you, he blesses you when the environment is ready to receive it. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." You see that? Proper time. Not random time. Not maybe time. Proper. Divine. Intentional. But there's a condition: if we do not give up. That's the test. Will you stay faithful when it feels like nothing is happening? When it feels slow, remember, God is not slow. He's precise. He's deliberate. He's strategic. His clock is never late. His calendar is never off. And sometimes, the longer the wait, the greater the weight of the blessing. So, if you're in delay right now, hold your head up. This is not a dead end. This is not a cosmic mistake. This is not punishment. This is process. You're not being ignored. You're being refined. And when the timing is right, when the preparation is complete, when the fire has finished shaping you into who you're called to be, God will move. And when He moves, it will make sense why He waited. You'll look back and realize that what felt like wasted time was actually perfect preparation. So, don't give up. Keep showing up. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Because God's timing may not be your timing, but it is always perfect. You thought He wasn't moving, but what if He's already 3 steps ahead? What if the silence is actually the sound of unseen strategy? Stay with me, because what you're about to realize will change how you see every not yet. You don't see it right now. You don't feel it. Nothing looks different. But I need you to lean in close and hear this. God is working. Right now. Behind the scenes. In the silence. In the shadows. In places your eyes can't see. Just because it's invisible doesn't mean it's inactive. Heaven is moving on your behalf, even when earth looks still. One of the biggest lies the enemy whispers in moments of silence is, nothing is happening. And that lie births frustration. It breeds impatience. It makes you think God forgot about you. But God never forgets. He never sleeps. He never zones out. In fact, some of His most powerful work is happening where human eyes can't reach. Romans 8:28 reminds us, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. All things, not just the obvious things, not just the loud, dramatic, Instagram-worthy miracles. All things, even the things that seem like setbacks, even the delays, even the heartbreaks. He's working it together. Let me take you to the story of Esther. God's name is never mentioned in that entire book. Not once. Yet His fingerprints are on every single page. Why? Because He was moving behind the scenes, positioning Esther, stirring the king's heart, exposing the enemy's plot, all while remaining unseen. You may not see His name in your situation right now, but His hand is all over it. I remember waiting for an answer I desperately needed. I thought God had forgotten. But years later, I found out He had been preparing the person, the place, and the provision long before I even asked. He was working while I was worrying. And the same is true for you. Sometimes, what you're waiting for is already in motion. You just can't see it yet. Like the roots of a tree growing underground, the real growth happens where no one can see. God is putting things in motion, aligning favor, stirring conversations, healing wounds, and clearing paths, all behind the curtain. And when it's finally time for that curtain to lift, it'll look like a sudden breakthrough, but it won't be sudden. It'll be the result of long, unseen labor. Esther 4:14 says, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" You didn't stumble into your situation. You were placed, positioned, chosen. And right now, God is setting the stage for something bigger than you can imagine. So don't confuse hidden with forgotten. Don't confuse silence with inactivity. God is a master artist, and right now, He's painting your destiny with strokes you can't yet interpret. But one day, when the masterpiece is revealed, it will all make sense. Your job is not to figure out every detail. Your job is to keep trusting. Keep believing. Keep worshiping in the waiting. Because what's happening behind the scenes is often the beginning of something that's about to shake your whole world in the best possible way. God is working, even now. Especially now. Now you know He's working behind the scenes, but here's the deeper question. What is He doing within you? Because sometimes the silence isn't shaping your future. It's shaping you. You might not see it now, but this silence you're stuck in, this long, painful, uncomfortable quiet from God, is not pointless. It's not wasted. It's not punishment. It's preparation. In fact, what you're going through is doing more in you than you can possibly imagine. It's building something in you that could not be built any other way. The silence is building your character. The stillness is strengthening your roots. You see, we all want strength, but we don't want struggle. We all want maturity, but we don't want the moments that shape it. Yet God, because He loves you too much to leave you shallow, will allow silence to develop the parts of you that noise never could. In the quiet, your soul gets honest. In the stillness, your faith is tested, stretched, and refined. God is not trying to destroy you. He's trying to fortify you. You know how trees grow. Not just up, but down. The deeper the roots, the taller the tree can stand. And do you know when roots grow the deepest? During droughts. During seasons when the rain doesn't come. When it seems like nothing is happening above the surface, something powerful is happening below. That's you right now. The silence is forcing your roots to stretch down. You're learning how to pray deeper, trust stronger, and stand firmer. You're not getting weaker in the season. You're getting spiritually dangerous. James 1:2-4 tells us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Did you catch that? The silence is doing something. It's producing. It's maturing. It's completing. You may feel broken, but God says you're being built. Think about Jesus. He was the Son of God, yet even He didn't skip the silence. Hebrews 5:8 says, though He was a son, He learned obedience through what He suffered. He learned through the pain, through the stillness, through the silence. So why do we think we'll grow any other way? The truth is, silence humbles you. It empties you of ego. It peels back the layers of pride, performance, and pretending. And that's exactly where real transformation begins. In the dark. In the quiet. In the moments no one sees, no one celebrates, and no one understands. But God does. I've had seasons where God's silence felt like a prison. I didn't know if I was going forward or backward. But now, looking back, I can tell you those were the seasons that changed me the most. Not the breakthroughs, not the blessings, but the silence. The silence taught me to be anchored. It taught me to stop chasing feelings and start clinging to truth. It made me realize that even when nothing seems to be working around me, something holy is always working within me. So if you're in that dark, still, silent space right now, don't despise it. Don't rush it. Don't try to escape it. Let it do its work. Because the silence is not a grave, it's a garden. God's planting something in you, And what grows out of this will carry weight, glory, and power you never imagined. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And you're not losing your faith. You're finding the depth of it. But what if the silence is the last moment before the sound of breakthrough? You're standing on the edge of something holy, and if you stop now, you might miss the miracle. Here's the truth I need to leave deep in your spirit today. Your silence may be the setup for the greatest breakthrough of your life. What you're calling a delay, God may be calling a divine staging. What you feel as empty space is often the very place where God is about to speak the loudest. Not with words, but with action. Because when God finally moves, He moves with power. You might feel like you're stuck, like the silence is swallowing your faith. But you need to know this. Don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle. Don't shut the door just before the answer knocks. There are some blessings that don't come on your timeline. They come when your spirit is ready, when your character is mature, and when the atmosphere around you has been fully prepared. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles." That's not just poetic, it's prophetic. Because waiting isn't weakness. Waiting is warfare. It's standing when everything inside you wants to sit down and give up. It's believing when there's no proof, no evidence, no visible signs. But you keep holding on. And in that holding on, God begins to move. The truth is, God often speaks through fulfilled promises. When the breakthrough finally comes, when the door opens, when the healing manifests, that's when His silence is suddenly understood. That's when you realize He was working the whole time. He wasn't saying no, He was saying not yet. Habakkuk 2:3 gives you the blueprint. Though the vision tarries, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. That's not a motivational quote. That's a spiritual command. Wait for it. Hold on. Keep believing. Because your breakthrough is on its way, and God has never failed to show up on time. When you feel like giving up, I want you to remember something. God finishes what He starts. If He gave you the vision, if He planted the dream, if He whispered the promise, He's not going to leave you halfway. He's a finisher. And you don't have to figure out how. It's not your job to engineer the miracle. Your job is to believe. I'd had moments where I almost quit. Moments where the silence was so loud, I thought maybe I had missed God entirely. But right before the breakthrough came, there was a tension, a holy pressure. And now I understand why. The enemy fights the hardest when your breakthrough is the closest. The silence gets heavier because something is about to shift. So don't misinterpret this silence as defeat. Don't let the lack of noise convince you God is inactive. You are not stuck. You're stationed. You're not forgotten. You're favored. And if you could see what's happening behind the veil, you'd be dancing instead of doubting. The promise is still alive. The vision is still valid. The plan is still unfolding. And your breakthrough is not behind you. It's right ahead. So keep believing. Keep hoping. Keep praying. Because God has not brought you this far to leave you now. The silence is almost over. And when God speaks again, it'll be with fire, with favor, and with fulfillment. Your story isn't finished. It's just getting started. Take a deep breath with me right now. Don't rush this moment. You've heard the message. You've felt the weight of the silence. But now it's time to turn that silence into surrender. This is not the end of the video. This is the beginning of your conversation with heaven. I want you to pray with me. Not just listen, but speak it out loud. Wherever you are, your room, your car, your quiet corner, this moment is holy ground. Let's pray. Father, I come before you, honest and open. I've felt the silence. I've questioned your absence. There were moments I wondered if you still saw me, if you still care. But tonight, I choose to stop pretending I'm fine and to tell you the truth. It's been hard, Lord. The waiting has been heavy. The silence has been loud. Yet even here, I acknowledge you. You are still God. You are still good. You are still working, even in this silence. Right now, I release every burden I've carried in the quiet. Every unanswered prayer, every disappointment, every sleepless night, I lay it all down at your feet. I give you the pain I've been holding on to, the fear that whispers you've forgotten me. Take the weight, Lord. I don't want to carry it anymore. I choose surrender over control, trust over understanding. This silence is yours, and so am I. I declare today that I trust you. Even when I don't see, I'll still believe. Even when I don't hear, I'll still worship. You are working behind the scenes of my story. You are weaving miracles into the ordinary, and I refuse to let what I can't understand steal my faith in who you are. Though you are silent, I will still trust your voice. Though you delay, I will still trust your timing. I remember who I am. I'm not forgotten. I'm chosen. I'm not abandoned. I'm being prepared. This silence is not my end. It's my transformation. I am a child of purpose, a vessel of divine destiny. God, use this season to shape me, strengthen me, and anchor me. Let this waiting season become my testimony of faith and endurance. Now, Lord, fill me. Fill every empty space with your peace. Replace my confusion with clarity, my fear with stillness, my doubt with assurance. Let your presence flood this moment like light breaking through darkness. Let your love quiet the noise inside my soul. I receive your peace that surpasses understanding. I receive the calm that only you can give. And now, I declare breakthrough over my life. The silence will not last forever. Doors are opening. Answers are forming. Heaven is moving, and the tide is turning in my favor. Every delay is aligning with destiny. Every no is making room for a better yes. God, I believe you are working even when I can't see the evidence. This silence is not stillness, it's strategy. And so, I thank you, Father. I thank you for what you're doing in the unseen. I thank you that you never stopped working, never stopped loving, never stopped being near. I rest in your timing now. I rest in your sovereignty, in your rhythm, in your plan. Because even in this silence, you are speaking, shaping, and saving. And I know, deep in my spirit, you are still working. In Jesus' name, amen. Wait, don't scroll just yet. The silence you just surrendered, God is already responding to it. And what I'm about to say could unlock someone else's breakthrough, because this moment isn't finished until your obedience activates something eternal. If this word stirred something in your spirit, if you felt God speaking straight to your silent season, then I believe He's also inviting you to be part of something bigger. Every time you give, through Super Thanks, through a membership, or through the PayPal link below, you're not just giving money, you're sowing divine seed into a harvest of souls. You're helping this word travel through digital rivers and reach people sitting in the silence you once knew. God says in 2 Corinthians 9:10, He who supplies seed to the sower will also supply and increase your store of seed and enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. This is your seed moon. You're for such a time as this invitation to fuel the light, spread the oil, and break the silence in someone else's life. If your spirit is stirred right now, that's not emotion. It's assignment. Move with urgency. Obey the nudge. Multiply the miracle. Give now, and watch what God does with your obedience. If this word lit a fire in your heart, then I need you to hype this video right now. Click that hype button and let the world know God is still working in your silence. Declare it boldly, share it publicly, and let this message go farther than your screen. And yes, go ahead and like this video too, because someone you love might need this exact reminder today. I want you to drop this in the comments right now. God is still working, and I still believe. Speak it. Declare it. Stamp your faith in the comments section. And if you have a specific prayer request, don't hold back. Leave it below. I read them. I pray over them. You're not alone. Let this channel become your altar, and this moment your declaration. You need this. Not tomorrow. Now. If your soul is tired and your spirit needs revival, don't delay. Subscribe today and let this become your daily shield. Amen.